drop frames. And if you can hear me, everybody, welcome to the stream before I go jacked up crazy on Yahoo.
We should find out if people can hear us or
I
not.
don't know. Let's go right here. Yeah, they can. Y'all can hear us.
I love it.
Hey, everybody. What's up, everybody? This is Zach.
Derek.
And Allie.
With the Nerd Cave. We're talking about Square Enix pre-show.
What have you done? What have you done?
What have I done? We're here. We're doing it live, everybody.
We always do it live.
It's always. We're not dropping any frames right now. The Lord is good, and He is with us. We're talking about Square Enix. We've seen 3 conferences so far at this table. This very table.
Yep.
This is a different table than we used to have.
Yes, it was square.
I'm pointing out very obvious things.
For a split second, I thought you were going to say this is a different table from the show earlier today, and I was going to be like, what? But it looks the same.
We're the Ruby Tuesdays of gaming shows. You know, Ruby Tuesdays had a square plate when they introduced food.
Freshness.
They did one that was roughly, I think, an hour, if memory serves, at least 45 minutes. But
yeah, I can't remember.
we don't know how long this conference is going to be. But I think it's safe to assume with all that they've announced and are assumed that we think they're going to talk about, it'll probably be a longer press conference, at least longer than 30 minutes. We know the focal point will be the Marvel's Avengers game they're going to talk about. The only thing we've seen is a little teaser image of Cap Shield, Thor's hammer, and some other Avengers like paraphernalia. Haven't seen lickety split a gameplay, so I'm assuming we get that, and it's coming out this year. We haven't confirmed that, but all signs are pointing that it'll be their big game for this year.
Makes sense. Ride the wave.
The early rumors are saying that it's going to be like a Destiny type looter game. It's gonna be a loot based game, hopefully not like an online centric type game, but it will have a loot component in it.
So do you think it's going to be like you create your own hero and you live in that world and you're destroying like Hydra members like your Thwip and all that and Squad?
I think it'll be more of like the Injustice 2 route where you'll already have the established characters and just build them up as you go and get more progression stuff.
Okay, yeah, because Injustice 2 was definitely had loot in it. I hope that it's the other way around.
Which is?
I hope it's like where you get to create your own like hero and like you have, like with Destiny where you would have like the 3 classes in it.
Right.
And like you would have, essentially 2 supers that you can use down the road. Like you start with one and then it goes to another and
also,
everything.
like, depending on like what your hero makeup would be, like to follow that Destiny route, like, you have like a mentor that you can like go to like turn in quests or whatever, like they have in Destiny, something like that, but it would just be one of the heroes.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
So would you think that would get almost a little too close to say Ultimate Alliance? Because I know we're going to talk about it in Nintendo, but there's already an Ultimate Alliance game coming for the Switch.
Yeah, but like if you think about who's developing, like this is Crystal Dynamics and everything, they're more like story based and open environments and everything,
right?
Because they were doing the Tomb Raider games, and I think
those got bigger hub worlds every iteration.
Yeah, and I think if they go with something that is a different route, like a fighter. They wouldn't be playing to their strengths.
Right.
And like, yes, it would be sort of like Ultimate Alliance, but those are already established heroes.
Right.
With a totally different story and everything. This could be something where they could continually put out different quest lines, more DLC, season passes, all of those things. This is what I'm hoping for.
Right.
What I'm hoping for. Hope springs eternal, but as the gaming industry goes, it usually stabs you in the heart
and goes the way of the dollar.
Yep.
So,
but this could make some money.
Yeah, definitely.
And if they didn't do what I just said, come and talk to me, and I'll make you a video game. Well, I'll pitch you the idea, and you can pay me for it later.
Creative director.
Yes, creative director. I got a big enough beard.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Not like the guy from Xbox though. That guy's.
No, that's
That guy's got a
that was
beard.
a solid beard.
Beard game on point.
Yeah, it's longer than a country mile.
So, And this is one of the press conferences, at least for the things I have listed for the pre-show, that has the most release dates or release windows.
Yeah.
So there's a few on there that doesn't have it, but the next one on here, and this ruined a prediction I was going to have on the show, but would have gotten me a point. But that's how the cookie crumbles. Final Fantasy 7 Remake. They confirmed it the other day that it's coming out March 3rd, next year. So they still haven't confirmed whether it's going to be split up into 3 parts or not.
Yeah, because that was what they were going to do originally.
Right. So, but all signs point to this as part 1 releasing in March, especially since, because they pretty much had to reboot the studio.
Yeah, because even the director didn't know he was directing the game and all that. This was such a haggard kind of development cycle and everything.
It was sort of not like a Last Guardian, but as much turmoil as Last Guardian went through.
Definitely.
So I think this will be a part 1, especially since how fast of turnaround they did from rebooting the studio, because that was only a year ago.
Yeah, it wasn't very long ago.
Now, granted, they probably just were like, hey, if all we're doing is remaking it and touching up, we'll just start from where they left off and continue. So maybe they didn't have to reboot the game. Essentially, they just had to reboot the staff. So I don't know. We'll find out more. I do think, because they did say at the State of Play back in May for PlayStation that when they reconfirmed, hey, Final Fantasy 7 is coming, it's a thing, it's still a thing.
Yeah.
We'll see more in June for E3. So I imagine it'll show up here at the press conference.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they're finally getting something out and everything. Just a quick question. Was your prediction going to be right, though? Yeah,
it was. I said it was going to be out by first half of 2020.
Okay.
So.
Well, thank you, gaming gods, for
stealing that. That's why I got so mad yesterday morning when I found that out. I'm like, are you kidding me? That was a surefire one.
If you're just joining us, everybody, we're talking about the Square Enix Conference that is going to be starting at 8 o'clock Central Time. We'd love to hear what you're excited to see. Love to get any question that you have. Just jump in the chat below. And what's the next thing, Derek?
So the next thing on here is, I don't know if they showed a little bit of the expansion last year at their conference, so I think we'll see it again. It's not as, it's got a player base. It keeps just churning out stuff, but it's not as widely given the credit for as Elder Scrolls Online. But Final Fantasy 14, their big MMO, really successful. They keep churning out expansions. Their next one is Shadowbringers, and that's coming out July 2nd, so just a few short weeks away.
Yeah.
I think, if anything, they did show released a 6-minute game, or not, a story trailer on PlayStation's YouTube channel the other day. So I think, if anything, we may see gameplay or just a small snippet of that, or just probably a rehash of the 6-minute trailer. Who knows? But I do think we see that just teased, just as a reminder, hey, it's coming out soon.
Well, if I was them, and this was something that was fixed to come out, I would go just full out and just show 10 minutes of gameplay. It's wham, bam.
Just
Thank you, ma'am.
A little bit in.
Yeah.
Sprinkle a little bit.
No, I'm talking about meat cleaver through the conference. Yeah.
They just someone from the they have someone in the audience. They're holding meat cleaver, and they just yeet it up on the stage, and it breaks their giant screen behind them.
Bet. Caleb Tarver says, "Avengers
Assemble."
Well, I'm sure that was really, really loud for whoever's listening, but
We're very sorry.
he put 3 exclamation marks, so I had to make sure.
You had to give the emphasis.
When you do it, you gotta back away from the mic.
You had to give the emotion behind it. I understand.
No, I don't back away from the mic.
We know.
But for people's ears.
Oh,
So
sorry, bro.
It is
now,
what it is.
The next thing, and we did see it at Microsoft's conference already, kind of like I figured, but they did confirm, we figured if we didn't see it at Microsoft's, we would see it here because they confirmed it. Dying Light 2. We got another CG trailer, not really much any new gameplay. We saw it. We saw some gameplay segments last year when they unveiled it.
Yeah.
But we didn't see a new gameplay snippet, at least with the zombies. It's out spring 2020. That got confirmed yesterday at Microsoft's conference. I think we see some more gameplay, including the nighttime gameplay, because that was the whole shtick of Dying Light 1 was hey, you have regular zombies during the day, and then you have these super zombies that come out at night. That was me. I hit the.
Oh.
I hit this.
Trying to tear up the thing.
I thought something fell, and I was like, oh.
But yeah. I think we see another gameplay snippet because they're going to show something.
Right.
Yep. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So
He's scheming.
now another. This would have gotten me
Another
2
one?
points, and because I got this right, ruined another prediction.
Oh, no.
I confirmed. Actually, let me check. This was a bold prediction. My bold prediction. So I could have taken the lead.
Yeah, you could have, but you didn't.
No.
Now, I got to go back and check on the last
Oh,
conference.
yeah, we
Because
need to
my
double-check.
bold prediction was that. So technically, if it's worth double, the half would be doubled.
So you get a singular point. We'll
I don't know
double
if that
check.
was your bold, but okay.
We'll double check.
Anyway,
We'll double check.
back on track. So my bold was that Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC was out and be out by Q1 2020.
Yeah.
January 2020. And they announced Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC, which is going to be story stuff or at least in-game stuff, and it's out winter, which January is part of winter, so that would have gotten me 2 points.
Isn't winter considered like November and December though?
But no,
Technically, the
winter.
winter solstice starts November 25th,
No,
December 21st.
I'm talking about fiscally.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, fiscally would be.
I will check.
So I would have at least gotten a half a point.
I would
Or-
have
or
given
no,
I would have given a full point because
Yeah.
the spring solstice is on March 20th.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it because
Or
I've been like.
equinox.
I'm not like
excuse
fiscally, just like I
Yeah,
just
whatever.
did.
Yeah, whatever. So I think we see some of that. Maybe Just Cause 4 has some DLC coming out, some story DLC called Los Demonios. It's coming out July 3rd. I think if anything, we'll see a snippet of what that is. It's Just Cause has done okay, I guess. The DLC. They turned out the
Apparently, they
DLC.
have 4
Yeah.
games that someone's buying them.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I'm talking about like Just Cause 4, especially since the fanfare was the last 2 games they put out was like early December, where it's like throwaway games go to just disappear and not make sales.
Yeah. Well, you've got the people like, oh, I gotta get a game for Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy likes that Xbox.
They go into GameStop and like, I need a game for my son. What do you recommend?
My son Tommy likes the Xbox. What games are out?
Oh, so what do I know? That'll get really off topic. Never mind. It was a really funny story though.
So
Derek's like, God, I'm so glad we only got one more after this.
do you think we kind of expected it at Microsoft's conference and it didn't show up, but do you think we see Life is Strange 2 episode 4 here? Or if it
Yeah.
just to fill out time, if nothing else, just reminders like, hey, it's coming out August 22nd. Be excited, please.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it is. Like, I want to go and play it because I really enjoyed Life is Strange and
Before the Storm.
Before the Storm. Like, I really, really like those, especially the first. Like, the Before the Storm was pretty good, but definitely the
Yeah, the
original.
original
Right.
is super good.
It was lit, fam.
Okay,
Liddy.
here's a question. I pulled up today and I could not remember the dude's name from the first game.
Are you talking about Mr. Jackson?
No. It's like
Caleb?
no. It's the dude. And like he's like one of like the love interests for Max. He's the dude. And he
Travis?
no, they like talk about like movies and stuff.
John?
I can't know. That's not his name.
Eustace? Francis?
No.
Anyway,
I can't remember.
now when they did 3 years ago or 4 years ago now, when they did their 2015 press conference, they unveiled a new studio called Tokyo RPG Factory, made for smaller JRPG experiences.
Yeah.
And then we've seen a couple over the last couple years. I Am Setsuna was their first one. Then it was Lost Sphere came out last year, I think. And then Oninaki is their newest one, and that's coming out soonish, if not in the next couple months.
Yeah.
Do you think they show off another one of those, like what's down the pipeline from, or do you think you see any kind of smaller JRPGs from them, or just in general at Square's conference?
I would love to see what is close,
Mm-hmm.
and then like we're working on this many. Like, not even give me titles, just give me like a number.
Right.
It's like, oh, impressive. Tommy would like those games.
Oh, my son, Tommy.
Speaking of traditional JRPGs,
Dick's not having any of this. We're trying to fill time, y'all.
Tommy will become a staple of the show.
but Octopath Traveler came out last year for the Switch.
Right.
And now it's coming
Yeah.
out to PC. I think
okay.
it's coming out to PC. If it's not already out, it's coming out soon.
Mhm.
Do you think they kind of use that as a teaser for Octopath 2? Be like, hey, or like any kind of, because they already said they said last year when it came out, hey, it's not going to have DLC because it's a complete game. Like the creator was like being facetious when he said it's like, we make complete games here. We're not going to do any sort of DLC. So do you think he teases like, hey, if anything, we're hard in development on Octopath 2 now?
I don't see why not. Like if that's the direction that they're wanting to go with the studio and everything, like this would be the perfect stage to like, oh, it's coming to this, and we're working on Octopath 2.
Yeah.
And I guess that little pop,
Yeah. For the hardcore Final Fantasy fans.
Yeah, well, at this point in the day, see, they're 2 hours behind. There'll be a few of them that are a little toasted by now.
Right.
Well, that's more the Bethesda crowd.
Right.
They were crazy.
they were lit. Like not even
They was lit.
not even like the lit fam.
Yeah,
kinda
no,
thing.
they was just lit.
Some random Bethesda representative comes out. We don't know who you are, but woo! So, but now these next two games, we know one's coming out. They announced it last year or earlier this year. One of them, both the Dragon Quest games. One is Dragon Quest XI S, Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. Square Enix in their names. But it's coming to Switch, after they proof of concept on the PS4 to make sure people wanted it. They're making a Switch version with some newer content or like some updated content. We haven't gotten a release date. Sometime in 2019. I'm kind of expecting September only because the PS4 version launched in September last year. The next one is Dragon Quest Builders 2. Now, this is sort of like a Minecraft light game. It's all about building the levels out using Dragon Quest stuff. Now, that's coming out on July 12th, so I assume that's PS4 and Switch. So I'm assuming we'll just get either just a reminder, like a teaser trailer, or some gameplay of it, just to be like, hey, this is still a thing. We still support this weird spin-off game for Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
Now, this next one was a new IP that they showed off. It's actually being developed by Platinum Games. It's going to be for PS4 and PC. It's called Babylon's Fall. Now, they showed just a CG trailer. It looks like that medieval fantasy type game because you see a knight and then you see him fighting some type of enemy, and then all of a sudden a little tendril, like a little tentacle, comes out and is like cuts the soldier in half, and it's just like, what's happening in this game? But it's Platinum Games. They're all about, if nothing else, they're about their stylish action combat. That's what they pride themselves on. A lot of flashiness, sort of like the lens flare of video games. I think
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Mr. JJ.
I'm glad he calmed down on that when he got to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Trek, he was like,
I feel like with Star Trek you can get away with it.
yeah, but like it got to the point, it's like JJ.
Oh no, yeah, no, I agree. I got to a point where it was like, hey buddy, are you okay?
He's like, I can't see.
I can't stop.
He's like, the only thing I can see are lens flares.
So the only other thing we saw other than that weird sequence trailer was 2019. So we'll probably see more from that. I'm kind of skeptical because we've seen like Ori was 2019, it got pushed back, and then some other games that have gotten like just 2019 release windows that have gotten pushed back to early next year. So I'm kind of expecting like Dying Light 2 was another one. Dying Light 2 said 2019 and got pushed back till spring 2020. So I'm kind of expecting that same type thing for Babylon's Fall. It's like, hey, it was 2019, but we need more time.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that one. Just from a gameplay perspective, just to see what that game is, because it's weird.
Right.
And then the last thing I have on here is they confirmed this week or two ago that they were going to show this. It's a new IP by Square. It's going to be called Outriders. They just showed an image. It was like, looked like somebody or like a cyborg or a human in a pod. So it's going to be some weird sci-fi fantasy game. I would say.
saw that, like the person like wakes up and everything.
Right. So But now on to the predictions.
Okay. Nick just joined us. Welcome, Nick.
What's up, bub?
Said a little late. Just finished the Kind of Funny conference. I'll quickly put that at my number one. No lies. We didn't. I watched like 3 or 4 games. Yeah. I was doing some work.
I'll watch it later.
I want to watch it, but I know those guys do a fantastic job. So on to the predictions. It's my turn to go first.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And I'm already 3 points I could have had. But
I'm gonna take better notes of these because we keep having discrepancies of like, wait, was this the thing? Was this the thing? So we're just gonna.
You know, that's why you just say it and you don't know. Anyway, so my number one prediction, the first one, is that they will show a brand new IP that we have not discussed.
Okay.
At least one.
At least one.
There you go.
Hashtag cheap points.
Hey, man. You got to get them.
You realize, I think, you keep bragging on me about just play the game. But I think deep down you're scared that if I play your game, I'll play it better than you will.
Oh.
So you're lucky I play for more hype than...
And the only hype that I want is the crown.
Anyway, my first prediction is that Babylon's Fall will be delayed until spring of 2020.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I do think just because, especially these last couple conferences we've seen, games that they showed last year with just 2019 release dates have been pushed back to like early next year. So I think that they follow that trend now, especially since it's a newer IP.
Right.
Okay. My second prediction is this. I've got to say it before Derek gets to it because I feel like he's got this in his pocket. Avengers will be a launch title for the next gen consoles.
You're doing these hypothetical far out there, but okay. So I did have an Avengers one, but it wasn't that.
Okay.
So my number
It's out tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
my number
Everyone's
two.
a free copy.
If it's a freemium, then that should be all the writing we need on the wall. My number two. Like I said, Dragon Quest XI is coming to Switch. It will have Switch exclusive items because it's RPG. It's like got gear and all that. You can get the Master Sword as a weapon in the game.
Ooh.
Oh, you're being very specific.
Yep.
I like being very vague.
So,
all right. My third and final normal prediction is this. Square will team up with Stadia to put some of its library on Stadia when it launches.
Okay. My number 3. We have all these Final Fantasy, 7 Remake, Shadowbringers. But it hasn't been a traditional numbered Final Fantasy in quite some time. 15's been in development. Came out almost 3 years ago. I think
Has it been that long?
Yeah, November of 2016.
Jeez, I thought it was closer than that.
We see a tease of the next true Final Fantasy game, whether they call that Final Fantasy 16 or what. We see the next true Final Fantasy game teased.
See, I was going to go with that as my bold, but
it's like I said earlier. It's gonna be Final Fantasy 27.
So my bold prediction is this. Derek will not get any points during this conference at all.
Okay. I look forward to disproving that.
Will you let me get that one, or do you want me to give you a real one?
Whatever you want to do.
Are you sure?
All right.
I feel like that's a cheat one. I do. But I almost want to take it. Just
you're gonna kick yourself if that happens and you don't actually take it.
Okay. I really don't have one, to be honest.
Just go out there. It's bold. Just go out there.
Okay. My bold prediction is this. Yep.
Sora comes out on stage.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Oh, no.
I got you.
Okay,
All right.
here we go.
In the DLC, the DLC
For
for Kingdom Hearts.
okay.
It will add Cars and one other Disney franchise.
Okay. Okay.
See, there we go. I was specific.
Here's my question, because I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3 yet. I want to, but I just haven't had time. Is any of the Marvel franchise in there?
No.
Okay.
So,
That's
my bold
Neither
prediction,
is Star Wars.
seeing as how
They added Star Wars.
since both of our we both have to change our bold predictions.
Did I steal yours?
No, because remember the Kingdom Hearts
Oh,
one was
yeah,
my
yeah.
bold. But it's okay. That's why I come prepared. So we haven't seen.
Was that a slight towards me?
This is my bold prediction. I came prepared.
So Square has done spin-off games for some of their franchises, but we haven't seen one in quite some time. Remember the Go games like Hitman Go, Lara
Yeah,
Croft Go,
Oh yeah.
Deus Ex Go, I believe was the last one that they did.
Yep.
My bold prediction is they announce a new Go game during their conference, and it's either Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy.
Or Pokemon.
That's not Square. I hate to tell you, bro.
I know. That's
They
why
just,
I
they
said
just totally steal it from Nintendo. They're like, hey.
it.
So-
Where Pokemon go? No, I think that's a great one. I
So-
think that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Very, very
All
solid.
right, I have them
So-
saved.
All right, everybody. There you go. There are our predictions and what we think is going to happen during the Square Enix conference. We've got less than a minute to go, so we'll see you on the other side with our reactions and kind of review of everything. Thank you for watching and joining us. We really appreciate this. Been Zach.
Derek.
And Allie.
Have a blessed week.